What's up, guys? Just wait a few minutes for everyone to come in. If you guys want to start saying some names, go ahead. Just say the ticker and then the time frame that you guys want. All right. So remember, just put the ticker, guys, in the comments and then the time frame that you guys want me to look at, and we'll start up in a couple minutes, all right? How's everybody's weekend, rather? Oh, by the way, guys, it is downpouring here right now. So if I do cut out, it's because I lost power. I already lost power 4 times tonight. All right. Futures are up big, guys. We broke out of a key daily level, pretty much the highs that we had on the beginning of October. And it looks like we're pretty much heading towards all-time highs currently. We'll see how this week plays out, though. All right. Let's start it out. Let's see what you guys want me to go over here. So, all right, CG, you guys got to give me some time frames here. So, ACGL 4 hour. Arch Capital Group. All right. I mean, let's see. They had earnings when? End of October. So I don't know too much about this company at all. It looks like they're one of the multi-line insurance companies. So looks like we had a strong resistance here, right, at 32. This doesn't move too much, does it, this stock? Let's see. Not a 15% window. Yeah, so we've been in this like 15% range for quite a while, right? I mean, quite a while. 17, 18% for the past few months. I mean, this is just something that you want to kind of play a breakout above some key levels, right? Like 33. It looks like we're making higher lows currently, right? Every time we do push up, we have made a little bit of a higher high, right? Higher high here, but then we did dip back down. Pretty much retested this low here and then bounced up to make a higher high in the short term. But, I mean, to be honest, this isn't a stock that I'd really play. I'm not sure why it's piquing your interest exactly. But above 33, that's where I would look to play some longs. Accumulation zones pretty much around 30, it looks like, for the past few months. But, I mean, this isn't a stock I'd play. There's just not a lot of momentum for me. I'd rather just, play into what is currently moving recently. But if you do see a break of this this trend right here, right? It just barely held the other day on Friday. retrace to the 20 on the 4 hour. So, watch for a push back up above here. But again, above 33 is probably where I take some longs. Yeah, back right above this previous range, right? Back in the middle in 2019 as well. But yeah, you probably go for around 35, 36, and then you have another move up to about 39. A lot of resistance at 41 or so, but yeah, once you get above 33, maybe long to high 30s, 38 to 40. Okay. Not my favorite at all. Beyond 1 hour. All right. So beyond. All right, so I had these levels drawn out from a while ago, it looks like. But anyway, let's take a look. So beyond on the hourly, it looks like we had a dip. We had a strong downtrend, right, for the past few days. Very, very strong, right? Every time we kind of just kept flagging, right? Bear flag dump, 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 bear flag held. So we held here, which is pretty much where you'd expect to bounce, right? Because this was a previous resistance zone that we had, right? Right around 142. So when we did finally break out here, we kind of retraced a bit, and then it continued in an uptrend for a few weeks. Now we're coming back to retest that breakout zone, so we'd expect a hold here, and instead of having a flag back down, now it looks like we're kind of flagging up, right? So we have a gap up pretty much every day for the past 3 days. It will be interesting to see where we open the next day, though. Now, of course, right now futures are green, 1.5%, NQ 2%. Dow's up 1.3%, so we probably will see another gap up on beyond, but where are we going to come into areas of resistance right around here, this 162, 165 level. So you can probably get some good scalps above 159, right? I'm almost positive it'll just gap up though, so you're probably going to open up in this range, so it won't be a trade zone for me. If we do see some type of sell-off after the market does open, I would look for shorts around 167 or so, right? The top of this range. You also have the 200 MA here, right? So you might see a little bit of a retrace, but if anything, maybe some chop around here. 200 will be right around here or so, right? And then either a move back down. Maybe we'll hold this block this time. Otherwise, we can expect a move to the next range at 185 or so in the 180s. But you want a clear hold above the previous resistance that we had down. Excuse me. Let me get rid of these indicators. There we go. So this previous downtrend that we had, right? We kind of broke above, and we're kind of holding right above it, a little bit of consolidation. But again, we're probably going to gap up, so you can look for some plays into these areas of interest, right? So it's going to be, again, your 165, and then towards the 180, low 180s or so, and then from there back to the highs, 200 or so. But we'll see what happens. McDonald's has earnings on Monday, so Beyond might move off of that. We'll see if they say anything about how the burgers are doing there, because they have inked quite a few deals with McDonald's recently. Anyway, Nio, no trade zone for me. Unless you're just in this, there's not much to do right now. With Biden in, obviously, you're going to have a move up in EV stocks, but we've already seen a huge move up in these names, and that's just because of all of the great news that's been coming out for Nio. We are at JP Morgan's target price, which was $40, which started this huge move up on October 14th. They gave it a PT increase to 40. So that's why we saw this huge move up. The first start of the move up, right? And then we consolidated back down, broke out of the small retrace zone here, and then we just keep gapping up pretty much day after day with very, very small retraces, if any at all. So on Friday, we did see a big day in the market, but actually a little bit of a sell-off for Nio, right? Down 1.5%, a little over. So what I'd kind of look for here is some consolidation and possibly another flag playing out here, right? So we'd want to see, a break here, right? Just a break up pretty much out of this flag again. And I honestly, I'm not playing this. I would not have any more targets, to be honest, on Nio. Maybe 43, 44 again, just to the high of the range. But I'd be interested more in some shorts whenever this decides to break down, right? We have such a huge parabolic move, especially on the hourly. I mean, it's just almost a straight up. Let me turn some indicators back on here, right? Yeah, so I mean, we have our 9. Clean here. There we go. We have our 20 EMA on the hourly, right? It's just pretty much just been parabolic for the most part. But if you ever see a break below there on the hourly or so, then I'd look for a move back down to 39 or so, and then from there back down to the bottom or 50 MA or so at 35. But it'll probably come up to around 36, 37 at that point. But we'll see. It depends what's going to happen with a lot of the EV stocks too. Tesla's been lagging pretty badly, so if Tesla can make another move back up, it'll probably push Nio up with it. Also on Monday we have Workhorse earnings. They're the ones who make the parts for a lot of these EV stocks, guys. There we go. Is this a little blurry? Focus. For a lot of these EV stock guys, Workhorse is one of the companies who creates the parts. So if they have a good earnings, obviously it's meaning that a lot of these companies are buying and buying and buying a lot of these parts in anticipation of what, hopefully high demand, right? Or I don't know, new vehicle releases, etc., different things. So little note on Workhorse, but yeah, just be careful with Nio. You don't want to keep continually buying. At these levels, it's a good time to start taking profit. Apple 1 hour. Jesus, I got a lot on here. All right, so a lot of these stocks look pretty decent on the 1 hour. They had a huge downtrend break, right? We saw, and we could take a look real quick at the daily too. Obviously, we had a huge move down in tech, a little bit harder than SPY and the industrials in general, right? And then we saw a big bounce right around the GP. And the reason I pull up the daily is just because it's important to see where we're at. So right around the GP, we had a big bounce, and this is where you'd expect to take profits right around, usually a 382, 236, right? But moving back to the hourly right now, same type of scenario. It's if we take an hourly pull, probably in the GP short, yeah. So this is exactly where you'd want an area of rejection to happen. But again, right now futures are surging. We're going to gap up, most likely in the morning, unless something happens overnight. So what you'd look at for Apple, I mean, on a 2% update, on a 2% green day for NQ, on futures Sunday night, you're probably looking at 2-3% of a gap up for Apple. So if we're looking at just 2%, we're going to be opening probably somewhere around this range, which makes sense, right around 122 or so, okay? And if we break out above there, where are we going? Probably right to 125. So obviously we broke out of this downtrend that we had for quite a while. We were being held down by the 50 and the 200 MA on the hourly whenever we retested, right? And then we gapped up on Friday, and we're kind of just holding in the short GP zone. But again, probably going to just break out of this. So you'd probably look for an open right around this range right here, right? Maybe some consolidation, and then a move back to the highs. Otherwise, you'll probably see something like this back down to the lows, okay? It'll depend on how the day turns out. You'll probably be able to tell in the first 2 hours of the market. PLTR. Yeah, so Palantir, they finally got some good news also. I think they had a huge partnership with somebody. I forget who. But yeah, this is a brand new stock. For those who don't know, they IPO'd just in the beginning of October, or September 30th rather, right? October 1st pretty much. So they had a huge pop. It was a nice move too. They kind of had a little flag going on here, right? And it kind of popped up on news. We had a 10% day followed up by a 16% day. It was even higher. I think it was like 20-something percent at the highs. But anyway, looking at the hourly, right? So you didn't give a time frame. But yeah, it looks to be flagging kind of on the hourly also, right? You want to see a break above here, right? So you see an hourly close above this level at 14.30 or so. That's where I'd look to place some longs. But yeah, again, this is going to be a tech stock, obviously new on the market, right? Not too much data to use, but a lot of these are getting bought up. So what you can look for is obviously a move higher. I'm not too sure exactly the fundamentals of the company, but I'm sure it was a big deal that they closed, so I'd have to look into it more. But watch for some consolidation again in this range. If we get a pop up, then you can obviously long to top of the range, $15. Most likely we'll head to 16 or so. Otherwise, if we break down out of this, you can look for a retest on the 20 EMA and the hourly. Otherwise, definitely where would we hit? This zone back right here, right around 12. Okay. Starting to get chilly in Jersey. Yeah, I know. I was talking to my mom. It's getting cold up there. I think you guys had some inches of snow, but today was like 70 degrees or something there, right? It was nice. All right, XLF. So the financials. Financials. Let's see. So 1 hour. So obviously we're at a pretty key zone here that we kind of can't break out of, right? At this $25 range, right? $25.50. And we've been in this for quite a while, for a few months. We've placed in a top. Now, you could say it might be because there hasn't been any more real news from the Fed about what's going on or anything, but it does not look the worst. The only thing I would be weary of, right, is a breakdown here, right? And again, we're sitting right at, pretty much sitting right at this same level as the first stock that we did, right? Was it ACGL, I think? Yeah. Where we're basically sitting right at the 20 EMA on the hourly. We're sitting at a key area of support at about $24.95, $24.90, right? $25. So again, I wouldn't look long on financials, XLF specifically, until we can get above $25.50. A nice hourly close. We haven't had one still for the past few months, okay? Otherwise, you can expect a breakdown here, and then where would you look for longs again? Probably somewhere in the GP, right? Somewhere around 23.80, 23.70 or so. But again, you'd want to see a higher low being made on the higher time frames if you look at the daily. Again, same thing, right? We're just in this kind of chop zone for quite a few months now, but we did make a higher low this month, this past month. We want to see higher highs being made though, okay? So let's see what we can do this week. Maybe markets will push it up. I don't know if financials will follow or not, but again, futures look strong, so we kind of just have to take it sector by sector for tomorrow. CGC 1 hour. Yeah, we're in CGC. We're up like 200% on this. I mean, you just hold at this point. But they have earnings tomorrow, so nothing really will matter that I say right now. Obviously, Biden is good for the MJ sector, right? All the weed stocks have been popping, guys. Tilray, CGC, ACB. Everything's been popping really well, but it looks like we're kind of flagging again on CGC. Which makes sense, obviously people taking profits because it's had such a huge run up, right? Let's measure this move real quick. 80% move from swing lows to swing high for October. Insane, into November rather. So what can we expect? Well, we'll see what they say on the earnings call. I'm sure that they're going to be bullish, but we'll see how they did this past quarter. I'm sure their guidance will be lifted, or their raised guidance going into the next quarter and definitely into 2021 given Biden's win again. And then of course we had a few states that passed legal marijuana usage, right? Or I don't know the exact terms of everything, or you know what it means exactly, but I know recreational use has been passed in I think 5 states, right? So we should see a nice move up again on CGC, but same thing, right? We got to take these previous levels, see where we're at. Let's clean up the chart a little bit here, right? So this is going to be an area of interest. We rejected it previously at the end of the day on Friday. So if we can break back above here, or would we look at our next level of interest around 28, 29 or so before we get another move back up? But we had a nice breakout, right? This was a pretty long-term downtrend that we kept resisting. Resistance line here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we broke out on the 5th time, and that was on the Biden news. So again, you're probably not going to break out right away. Past 29.30. I don't know. Maybe we will. I'm sure the earnings call will point us in a better direction. But again, earnings tomorrow. I think it's pre-market. So we'll just have to see. Let me see here.